As you can see from the stream, captains are meeting with the umpires, going over the ground rules, and we'll be getting ready to get started in a few minutes. Okay, your Lady Gators will be the home team this afternoon. They have a similar lineup to opening night on Monday. Bria Wilcox will be pitching. Maddie Eric will be behind the plate. Peyton Gordon will be at first base. Alyssa Tanner will be at second base. Gianna Glasgow will be at shortstop. And Brent Evans will be at third base. In the outfield, Sienna Lathrop will be in left. Emily Eric will be in center. And Elena McCurvey will be in right. For the Ramettes, leading off will be pitcher Natalie Dunworth. Batting second will be second baseman Dana Beimel. Batting third will be left fielder Josie Gerber. Batting cleanup will be first baseman Megan Tettis. Batting fifth will be center fielder Icy Adeo. Batting sixth will be catcher Zoe Grunthaner. Batting seventh will be the designated player Gianna Delaquila. Batting eighth will be right fielder Eliza Jackson. And batting ninth will be the shortstop Bristol Mathis. Playing second base and not batting today will be Izzy Lowry. So once again, the Lady Gators are coming off an opening season win on Monday against the Smithport Lady Hubbers. Final score of that game was 13-1. Lady Gators were led by Gianna Glasgow, who had a double and a triple while batting 2 for 3. And Elena McCurvey had 2 triples in the game, also finished batting 2 for 3. Bria Wilcox got the win in her varsity debut on the mound, limiting the Hubbers to 2 hits while striking out 10 and walking 6. As we're getting ready today, the rain's starting to fall pretty heavy. We'll see how long we're able to hold up. Looks like the umpires are looking to make sure we have towels ready before we get started. And we're ready to go. Wilcox looks for the sign, and Dunmore digs in. Sorry, Dunworth. And first pitch is a swinging strike. Second pitch is a bit high. 1-1 count. And that one gets away from Wilcox. I'm sure the ball's a little bit wet already. We've got a 2-1 count. Ball 3. That one's high and wide. And that one's lined up the middle. That'll Emily Eric with a nice pickup. She gets it into second quickly, but Dunworth is going to slide in with a leadoff double. Nice line drive there by Dunworth. Now up for the Ramettes is second baseman Dana Beimel. First pitch is low, ball one. Ball two. That one's up in the zone. Called strike on the outside corner. Makes the count 2-1. Good scoop by Maddie Eric there. Keeps the ball in front of her. That's ball three. We got a 3-1 count on Beimel. And ball four. Ramettes have runners on first and second to lead off the game. Next up is the third hitter, Josie Gerber, the left fielder. Pitch low, ball one. Called strike again on the outside corner. 1-1 count. That one's fouled off by Gerber. Makes it a 1-2 count. Once again, the Ramettes have runners on first and second, no outs. And we had a check swing. They're going to call it a strike. So that's the first out of the game for the Lady Gators. Coming up to bat for the Ramettes is the first baseman, Megan Tedis. The pitch is low. And the runners are going to advance. One out here for Johnsonburg in the top of the first. That pitch is fouled off by Tedis. Makes the count 1-1. That one's hit to the second baseman, and it gets between her legs, and Dunworth will score on the error. Makes the score 1-0. Top of the first. Now up for Johnsonburg is the center fielder, Icy Adeo. She pops that one up. That's going to go out of play. Foul ball, strike one. Wilcox gets the pitch count or pitch call from the dugout. Second pitch is a bit high. Tedis is going to take second. Again, we have a 1-1 count. One out here in the top of the first. And that pitch is inside. Makes the count 2-1. That ball bounces back, but the runners can't advance. Makes the count 3-1. And Wilcox is going to switch the ball out. Again, the rain continues to fall pretty steady. And that'll be ball 4. Good scoop by Eric again. Keeps the runner on third. And we now have the bases loaded as the catcher, Zoe Grunthaner, comes to the plate. That ball hits her foot. She's going to take a base, and that drives in a run. That'll make the score 2-0 with one out here in the top of the first. And the designated hitter, Gianna Delacqua, will come to the plate. Coach Barnett's going to take a quick timeout here to get the players refocused. Sounds like the rain may be letting up a little bit. And we get back to action here with Johnsonburg having the bases loaded. And Delacqua up to bat. And Wilcox is struggling to control the wet ball, as that one went way up the backstop and looks like knocked our camera out of action. That ball's a bit low. Makes a 2-0 count. She's going to swap that ball out for a dry one. Swing and a miss there. Good pitch. Makes the count 2-1. Called strike 2. And she gets her on the changeup. Delaclo's way ahead of that ball. It makes it 2 outs. And coming up is the right fielder, Eliza Jackson. Nice pitch there. Another swing and a miss. That one's fouled off. Wilcox has a 2-strike count. And she's going to swap out for a dry ball again. And another swing and a miss. Wilcox gets out of the jam, leaves the bases loaded, and the Lady Gators will come up to bat, trailing 2-0 in the bottom of the first. We'll be back in 60 seconds. All right, and we're back ready for action in the bottom of the first. Leading off for the Lady Gators will be Sienna Lathrop. Dunworth is in the circle for the Ramettes. Called strike. Started off. Lathrop went 1 for 3 last game with 2 runs scored from the leadoff position. And she pops that one up behind the shortstop's head, and she makes a nice falling catch. So Mathis with the out, and Maddie Eric will be up for the Lady Gators. Ball one. Eric was 0 for 2 last game with 2 runs scored. And she gets around on that one. The third baseman gets over, and a high throw to first. Eric's going to be safe on the error. And that'll bring up Glasgow. Gianna went 2 for 3 on Monday with a double and a triple. That pitch is low. Eric's getting a big lead at first, but she doesn't go anywhere. Dunworth working on the mound. Starting to get a bit muddy in the infield. Second pitch is low, bounces past the catcher, and Eric takes second base. It's a field. Yeah. Swing and a miss. Makes the count 2-1. Yeah, because by score, they take out. And shortstop boots that one. Eric is going to try to make it home. And a nice play by the catcher who was holding her mask while she caught it and tagged her. Now McCurvey will come to the plate. McCurvey with a swing and a miss. She had 2 triples on Monday. Two outs here in the top or the bottom of the first. And McCurvey hits that one up the middle. It gets through the center fielder. Ball's all the way to the fence. Glasgow is going to score. McCurvey's going to third. And she's held up by Coach Barnett as the Gators score their first run. That makes the score 2-1. Called strike there on Bryn Evans, who's now up to bat. She takes that one inside. 1-1. Evans fouls that one off. Makes a 1-2 count. Evans was 0 for 3 on Monday with a run scored. She takes that one inside. 2's wild. 2-2 count with 2 outs here. Gators are looking to tie the score. Evans grounds that one down the third base line, and that's called foul. So she's going to stay alive. And that one's to third as well. Third baseman boots that one. Glasgow scores, and we have a tie game here in the bottom of the first. Now up for the Gators is Emily Eric. First pitch is high. Evans draws the attention of the catcher, but she gets it back to the pitcher. Eric takes that one inside, 2-0 count. Swing and a miss, 2-1 count. Lady Gators are still trying to adjust to the speed of the pitcher. Eric fouls that one back. 2-2 count with 2 outs. Dunworth readies. And that pitch is high. Full count. Evans should be running on the pitch with a full count and 2 outs. Eric readies. And swing and a miss for out number 3. But the Gators get 2 runs back, ties the score at 2-2 as we head to the top of the second. We'll be back in 60 seconds. And we're ready to go here in the top of the second. Ramettes will have Bristol Mathis, the shortstop, leading off. Wilcox looks in. And first pitch is a bit low. Second pitch is high. 2-0 count. Mathis a little out ahead of that one. Fouls it off. Makes count 2-1. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Wilcox has a 2-2 count here on Mathis. And that one's fouled straight back. Mathis stays alive. That one's lined down the third base line, but it's foul. Mathis is way out in front of that one. Count remains 2-2. Just a bit low. Full count. And ball 4. So leadoff hitter Mathis gets on. And we're headed back to the top of the lineup with the pitcher, Dunworth. Dunworth doubled the center fielder first time up. And that's a line drive over the left fielder's head, off the fence. Lathrop gets it in, holds Dunworth to a single. So we now have runners on first and third with no out. And Beimel will be up to bat. Beimel walked in the first inning. Dunworth is ready to go at first. I'm guessing she'll go on the first pitch. And she does. Steals a base on the ball. And that one's fouled back by Beimel. Got a 1-1 count. Runners on second and third. No outs here in the top of the second. That one's popped up, and it's also going to be foul. Called strike 3 on a nice high pitch. That gets past the pitcher, but the runners are unable to advance. And Gerber will now be up for the Ramettes. She struck out swinging in the first inning. Ball outside. Eric tries to pick her off, and she just gets under the tag. And Evans kept the tag on her, and she's called out as she stands up off the base. Now we have 2 outs here in the top of the second. That pitch is high. And Dunworth remains at second base, the lone base runner. Swing and a miss, strike 1. That ball's scooped by Matty Eric. A 3-1 count here on Gerber. Wilcox gets her sign. And that pitch is down the middle. And we've got a full count with 2 outs. Dunworth will be taking off on the pitch from second. Dunworth looks like a track sprinter out there getting ready to go. That pitch is low for a ball. And Dunworth does get to third. So runners on first and third with 2 out, and Tedis up to bat. Tedis reached on an error first at bat. Gators are trying to get out of this inning. Change up there by Wilcox. Tedis was way in front of it. And Gerber took second on the pitch. The runners on second and third, 2 outs with a 0-1 count. Foul ball right at us. Two strike count. And Wilcox tries to get her to go low on that one, but Tedis isn't biting, so we have a 1-2 count. Strike 3 called. And Wilcox does get out of it with no runs. So we head to the bottom of the second with the Lady Gators tied 2-2 with the Johnsonburg Ramettes. Alyssa Tanner will be leading off for the Lady Gators. We'll be back in 60 seconds. And we're back with Alyssa Tanner up to bat for the Lady Gators. Swing and a miss on the first pitch. And second pitch, she lines to right field, and the right fielder comes in and makes a nice play. So Jackson with a grab in right field, and Peyton Gordon will be up to bat for the Lady Gators. Gordon was 0 for 3 on Monday with a run scored. Pitch just a bit outside. Another pitch outside. 2-0 count. Strike one. We have a 2-1 count on Gordon. Dunworth looks in. And Gordon grounds one to short. And the first baseman drops it. Gordon's going to reach on the error. Nice play by Mathis there, but Tettis wasn't able to handle the throw. And we have our first base runner at the bottom of the second with Bria Wilcox up to bat. Wilcox jumps on the first pitch. That's going to be a foul ball. Wilcox was 1 for 1 last game with 2 walks. Dunworth with a nice changeup. Gets called strike on the outside corner. And Wilcox has an 0-2 count. Ball inside. Gordon, the base runner on first. The Lady Gators try to get some offense going with 1 out in the bottom of the second. And Wilcox jumps on that one. Second baseman makes a nice play and gets the force out at second. And we're going to have a courtesy runner here for Wilcox. Sounds like Joanna DeRouche will be entering the game again. She ran twice last game for Wilcox. And Lady Gators are back to the top of the lineup with Sienna Lathrop, first inning. Ball outside. Wilcox with a swing and a miss. Or I'm sorry, Lathrop. 1-1 count with 2 outs. Lathrop fouls that one off the end of the bat. Now have a 1-2 count with 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. And that one's grounded to first. And Tettis beats Lathrop to the bag for the 3rd out of the inning. So we head to the top of the 3rd. Score still tied 2-2. And Adeo will be leading off for the Johnsonburg Ramettes when we return. And we're back with Beimel leading off the top of the third. Beimel walked in the first inning, and she takes a ball to start her second at bat. I apologize. This isn't Beimel. This is Adeo. They're both wearing the same sweatshirt. And Adeo swings at that pitch in the dirt for strike one. That'll make it 1-1. Wilcox gets her sign. And that pitch is a bit high. 2-1 count. Deo goes down and gets that one. A lot of English on it. And she's able to beat out the ball in the infield. She thinks about going to second, but she returns to first. Scorekeeper rules that one a single. I think she had that beat out no matter what. And we have the catcher, Grunther, due up. First pitch is outside. Second pitch bounces in. Eric's able to stop it. Grunther was hit by a pitcher first at bat. She goes down and gets that one, fouls it back. Two 2-1 count. No outs here in the top of the third. That one's lined foul down the right field line. 2-2 count. Ball outside. Eric tries to catch her sleeping at first, but she gets back. And we've got a full count. And ball 4 in the dirt. So we'll have runners on first and second. And Delacqua, a designated player, coming up to bat. She struck out swinging in the first inning. Called strike on the inside corner. Rain's starting to pick up again here in Port Allegany. That pitch is high. 1-1 count. Changeup is a bit outside, and the runners are able to advance. Wilcox changes the ball out again, And with a 2-1 count here on Delacqua, she's got runners on second and third. And swing and a miss. And another swing and a miss. And that was a drop third strike. Delacqua was able to get to first. And Adeo is able to score. Jackson, the right fielder, is now up to bat, as Coach Barnett calls a quick timeout. The Ramettes did take a 3-2 lead on that last run. Jackson struck out swinging her first at bat. So now we have runners on first and third. No outs here in the top of the third. First pitch gets by Eric. Delacqua was able to advance, but they hold the runner at third. Got a 1-0 count. Both Jackson and Wilcox are looking for their signs. Ball outside, 2-0. Called strike at the knees. Eric tries to pick the runner off third. She's back safe and calls time this time, so she doesn't get picked off. We have a 2-1 count. Wilcox loses control of that pitch out of her hand, and it rolls in for ball 3. We have a 3-1 count. Once again, runners on second and third. And called strike 2. Full count here on Jackson. Jackson lines that one foul down the first base line. Runnels will return. Jackson looking to protect here with a full count. That one's grounded to second base. Tanner gets that one, throws to Gordon for the first out of the inning. However, Grunther is able to score, and that gives the Ramettes a 4-2 lead. Mathis now up to bat. Mathis walked her first at bat. She grounds that one down the third baseline foul. So the Ramettes still have a runner on third with 1 out. as Wilcox changes the ball out again. Leadoff hitter Dunworth is in the on-deck circle. Pitch is a bit high. That pitch is low. At a 2-1 count. Ball 3. So 3-1 count on Mathis. And Wilcox loses control of that pitch, making it ball 4. Runners on first and third with 1 out. And the leadoff hitter Dunworth is up. She has singled and doubled her first 2 at-bats today. Nice play by the Lady Gators her last at-bat to hold her to a single on a ball that went to the fence. That ball is short. Mathis is going to take second on ball 1. Ball 2 as the runners hold. And the umpire says she holds up on that one. So that'll be ball 3. 3-0 with runners on second and third. 1 out here in the top of the third. And ball 4 bounces in. Now the bases are loaded for Beimel. Beimel with a walk and a strikeout in her first 2 plate appearances. Coach Barnett has her corners playing in here, trying to hold the Ramettes without a run. First pitch is high. Eric catches it off the backstop, and the runners must hold. And knocked our camera again. Ball 2. And ball 3. Bases are loaded. No place to put Beimel here. Wilcox is going to have to fight her way back. And ball 4. So that drives in a run. Makes the score 5-2 in favor of Johnsonburg. And Maddie Eric's going to go out and have a talk with Bria Wilcox. Coming up to bat for the Johnsonburg Ramettes is Gerber. Gerber struck out swinging and walked her first 2 plate appearances. So Gerber steps in. Wilcox readies. First pitch is high. Lady Gators are trying to get out of this inning, limit the number of runs. It's currently 5-2 with one out here in the top of the third. Wilcox's second pitch is a bit low. Mathis is not going to advance. And we have a 2-0 count. That ball's low. We have a 3-0 count. Again, no place to put her. And that's 7 straight balls by Wilcox. And make it 8. And that'll drive in another run. Makes the score 6-2. Coming up is Tedis. She reached on an error and struck out looking her first 2 at-bats. And the Lady Gators have 1 out here in the top of the third. And the first pitch is a called strike. Tedis doesn't look happy with that call. And Tedis goes down and gets that one. Tanner with the ball, tags the runner, and gets 1 out. Dunworth is able to score, though. So now, runners on first and third. Scores 7-2 with 2 outs. And Adeo steps in. Adeo started this inning, and she fouls off the first pitch. And she singled on a ground ball to shortstop the first at bat this inning, and walked in her first plate appearance today. That one comes in low. Tedis takes off, and Evans dropped that pickoff attempt. So we're going to give Tedis a stolen base there. And we have a 1-1 count. Ball too high. Ball low. Eric tries to get her at third again. And we have timeout. 3-1 count here with 2 outs. Top of the third. And ball 4. Grunther back up again. She's been hit by a pitch and walked. And she comes up with the bases loaded here in the top of the third. 2 outs. Lady Gators trying to get out of this inning as they trail 7-2. First pitch is low. Eric again is working Beimel at third, who spent more time diving back into the base than she has anything else. Eric tries to go to first that time. That ball's fouled off behind us by Grunther. Got a 2-1 count, 2 outs. Called strike there. Nice pitch by Wilcox. That's a 2-2 count with 2 outs. And that one's fouled back. So we'll get another pitch. Wilcox loses that pitch. And it's an illegal pitch. It'll be called a ball. Makes a full count here with 2 outs in the top of the third. Third base coach reminds the runners that they're running on the pitch. Wilcox readies. And that shot is lined to left field. Lathrop gets that into third base. However, 2 runs score on Grunther's single. She advances to second on the throw. And we now have Delacqua back up to bat. And she swings and misses on the first pitch. The designated player struck out twice, although she did reach this inning on a drop third strike. Second pitch is right down the middle for strike 2. And that ball slips out of her hand. Now we have a 1-2 count as Wilcox looks for a dry ball. And Delacqua swings on that one, and Eric tags her out on the drop third strike. So the Lady Gators finally get out of the inning. And that'll make it 9-2 as we head to the bottom of the third. The Lady Gators will look to bounce back with Maddie Eric leading off. We'll be back in 60 seconds. All right, and we're ready to go here in the bottom of the third. Maddie Eric will lead off for the Lady Gators. She reached on an error her last at bat as Dunworth readies with the first pitch. And Eric lines that one down the third base line, but it's just foul. Dunworth's going to switch that ball out for a dry one. Ball's high. 1-1 count on Eric. Swing and a miss for strike two. And Eric hangs with a foul ball. And Eric flies that one to left field. And it's dropped by the left fielder. So the Gators get a base runner to start off the bottom of the third, as Gerber was unable to control that one high in the rain. And Gianna will be up to bat. She reached on an error the first plate appearance, and first pitch is low, ball one. Dunworth wasn't happy with that call. She comes back with a called strike. 1-1 count with the runner on first. Ball inside, 2-1 count. Ooh. Vasco tries to duck under that one, but it's called a strike. And we've got a 2-2 count. Vasco fouls that one back. Stays alive with a 2-2 count. And fouls back another one. Still 2-2. And that one's off the end of the bat. Another foul ball. Looks like that one may have wrung her hands. As they swap out the balls again. The rain is letting up a little bit here. And Vasco goes down swinging. And McCurby will be up to bat. Kirby singled to center field her first time up. First pitch is low. Eric takes second. Nice throw there by the catcher, but Eric just beat it. And McCurby readies with a 1-0 count. That one's popped up to right field. Right fielder's coming in. The second baseman, though, comes over and tries to get it. She's unable to get it. McCurvey takes second. And the Gators have runners on second and third. So the Gators have runners on second and third. One out here in the bottom of the third, and Evans is up to bat. Evans drives that one to right field. That drops in front of the right fielder for a single. And McCurvey rounds third. She's coming in, and that'll be a 2-run single. So the Gators get a couple of runs back on the 2-run RBI from Evans. And Emily Eric will be up to bat. Dunworth's first pitch is low. Evans is trying to draw a throw over at first, but the catcher wanted nothing to do with it. Next pitch is inside for ball 2. Strike called down the middle, make it a 2-1 count. Ball gets away from Dunworth, but Mathis gets it back into her. Strike 2 called. Eric's got the 2-2 count. Look to protect. And that's a swing and a miss. Now for the Gators will be Tanner. Tanner lined out to the right fielder last inning. And she's a little behind that pitch. Strike 1. Tanner gets hold of that one, grounds it back to the pitcher. And Tedis has a little trouble, but she's able to pick it up and get the out. The Gators do score 2 runs, though, in the bottom of the third. That makes the score 9-4 as we head to the top of the fourth. We'll be back in 60 seconds. All right, and we head to the top of the fourth with Johnsonburg leading 9-4, and the right fielder Jackson will be up to bat. Wilcox's first pitch is outside for ball one. Jackson swings at the second pitch. That was in the dirt. So we have a 1-1 count. Looks like the rain has let up here finally in Port Allegany. Strike two called at the knees. Nice pitch there from Wilcox. Jackson is 0 for 2 so far today with a strikeout and a ground out. That pitch bounces in front of the plate for ball two. 2-2 count. Just low, ball three, full count. And ball four. Mathis back to bat for the Ramettes. Mathis has walked twice. Eric tries to get Jackson, but she wasn't too far off the base. That was ball one on Mathis. Ball two bounces. Three-0 count on Mathis. And that one's driven to center field, all the way to the fence. Eric tracks it down, and Mathis is going to slide into second with a double. Jackson holds at third. And the Ramettes will head back to the top of the lineup with Dunworth. Dunworth is 2 for 2 today with a walk. And she jumps on the first pitch. And that one is over the fence, off the tree, for a 3-run homer for Dunworth. That makes the score 12-4 for the Ramettes. So Dunworth is a triple short of a cycle today. Next up for the Rams is Beimel. Beimel is 0 for 1 today with 2 walks. And she fouls the first pitch back. Swing and a miss for strike 2. And ball low. 1-2 count. And swing and a miss for strike 3. Beimel's sat down by Wilcox. That'll be 1 out here in the top of the 4th. Next up is Gerber. Gerber has walked twice and struck out. That pitch a bit outside. Ball 1. Gerber pops that one up, headed towards center, and it drops short for a single. And now Tedis will come up with a runner on first. Tedis is struck out, reached by an error, and grounded into a fielder's choice. First pitch is low, and Gerber's going to take second as that bounced past the catcher. Tedis reaches for that one and fouls it back. Ball 2 called. 2-1 count. And that one's grounded to second. Tanner knocks it down, but is unable to make a play on it. And Adeo will now be up. Dale has walked twice and singled. Runners on first and third here in the top of the 4th. Adeo goes down and gets that one. Evans comes home with it. And she gets her at home. Nice play there by Evans and Eric to get the lead runner, save another run. And we have 2 down here in the top of the 4th with Grunther coming up. She's been hit by a pitch, walked, and singled. First pitch is a bit high. Second pitch is low. Runners are unable to advance, however. 2-0 count with 2 outs here. That one's lined just over the shortstop's head. Lathrop comes up firing. However, Tedis is going to score. And the runners advance on the throw. Allegany is now up. And swings and misses on the first pitch. She has struck out 3 times, twice on drop third strikes, however. She reached once. That one's fouled off. 0-2 count with 2 outs. And ball 1. And she hangs in with a foul ball. Still a 1-2 count with 2 outs. And swings and misses, and another drop third strike on Allegany. And she's going to be out on that one as well. That's 3 outs here in the top of the 4th. So we'll head to the bottom of the 4th. The Lady Gators trailing 13-4. And leading off for the Lady Gators will be Peyton Gordon, followed by Wilcox, and then back around to the top of the lineup with Sienna Lathrop. We'll be back in 60 seconds. And we're ready to go here in the bottom of the 4th. Peyton Gordon will lead off for the Lady Gators. Peyton reached on an error first at plate appearance. And swing and miss on the first pitch. Ball 1 outside. Ball 2. 2-1 count. Gators have Evans warming up in the bullpen. Swing and miss, strike 2. And strike 3. Now up will be Bria Wilcox. She grounded into a fielder's choice her first at bat. Ball 1. Wilcox pops that one up straight back for foul ball. 1-1 count. Strike 2 swinging. And Wilcox lines that one back up the middle for a single. Knocked down by Beimel in center. Or Adeo in center. And DeRouche is going to come in again as a courtesy runner for Wilcox. Sienna Lathrop up for the Lady Gators. She's 0 for 2 so far today. And she takes pitch 1 for a ball. Ball 2 is in the dirt. DeRouche is going to take second. We got a 2-0 count here on Lathrop. That ball's inside, just misses her. 3-0 count. I'm sure she's got the red light here with the Lady Gators needing some base runners. But she had the green light. Swing and a miss. 3-1 count. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Full count on Lathrop with 1 out here in the bottom of 4. Foul ball. Lathrop stays alive. Ball outside. So Lathrop takes first with the walk. And Maddie Eric will be up to bat. Maddie has reached twice today, both on errors. And I'm sure the Lady Gators will be happy to take a third one by error as well. First pitch is high. DeRouche gets a good jump, but she goes back to second. Second pitch, Eric grounds to shortstop. And Tedis goes to the second baseman to get an out. That's all they can get, so 2 outs. And Glasgow will be coming up to bat. First pitch is low, and Eric will take second. Called strike. 1-1 count. Gianna is 0 for 2 today. Reached on an error and struck out swinging. Ball 2. 2-1 count. That one's lined off the pitcher's shin. Tedis gets it at short, and Glasgow beats it out. And the first baseman misplays it, allowing Eric to score as well. So the Gators get a couple of runs there, again with 2 outs. And we're going to have a timeout while we check on the pitcher. McCurvey hits that one to right. Jackson camps under it and is able to squeeze it for the 3rd out. The Gators do get 2 runs back, though, as we head to the top of the 5th, with the Lady Gators trailing 13-6. Oh, it just got stuck in there? Yeah, I didn't know it was connected, so I started pulling. Okay, and we're ready for the top of the 5th. The Ramettes are leading 13-6. And up to bat first will be Jackson, the right fielder, who made the last out of the bottom of the 4th. So far today, she is 0 for 2 with a walk, and she takes the first pitch for a ball. Jackson fouls that one off. Strike 1. Ball outside, 2-1 count. Ball 3. And ball 4. Jackson takes first. And Mathis will be up to bat for the Ramettes. Mathis doubled to center field her last at bat and had walked her 2 previous trips to the plate. And foul tip on the first pitch. Strike 1. Ball 1 high. Mathis goes down and tries to get that one, but it's a bit too low. Strike 2 swinging for a 1-2 count. And Mathis fouls that one off. Count remains 1-2. That was Wilcox's 150th pitch of the day. And she gets Mathis way ahead of that one. Swing and a miss. First out of the inning. And we're back to Dunworth at the top of the order. She is 3 for 3 with a single, a double, and a homer. And with a walk added in as well. And Dunmore jumps all over that one. That's a long foul ball that hits the football shed. But it's strike 1. Ball 1 low. Jackson is going to hang it first. Dunmore reaches out for that one. It pops up in the infield. Glasgow gets it, and they're going to double Jackson off of first. Nice play by the Gators. Double play to end the top of the 5th. And we're going to head to the bottom of the 5th in 60 seconds. Bryn All right, here we are for the bottom of the fifth. Lady Gators trailing 13-6, and Evans will be leading off. Evans is 1 for 2 today, but did reach on a fielder's choice. First pitch is ball 1. Evans fouls the second pitch back. 1-1 count. Another foul ball. 1-2 count. And Evans lines that one down third base line, just foul. Dunworth readies. We have a 1-2 count. No outs here in the top of the fifth. And Evans lines that one to short. Mathis with a nice play. And that'll be out number 1. And Emily Eric up. Emily is 0 for 2 so far today. And she tries to get a bunt down, but that's going to be foul. Ball 1. 1-1 count. Dunworth's fixing the mound. Eric fouls that one back. 1-2 count. And strike 3 swinging. 2 outs here for the Lady Gators with Tanner coming up to bat. Tanner is 0 for 2 with a line out and a ground out. Ball 1 inside. Tanner hits that one foul down the third base line. Tanner fouls another one back. Makes it 1-2 with 2 outs. Strike 3, called at the knees. And we head to the top of the 6th with the Ramettes leading 13-6. We'll be back in 60 seconds. 13-6. Yep. So Beimel up to lead off the top of the 6th for the Ramettes. Wilcox remains on the mound for the Lady Gators. And the first pitch is ball 1. Beimel is 0 for 2 with a couple of walks. And ball 2. Ball 3 to Beimel. Strike 1 called. 3-1 count here to lead off the top of the 6th. And ball 4. Beimel will take first, and Gerber will be up. The left fielder is 1 for 2, also has a couple of walks to her credit. And the Gators are going to call time here. Have a conversation with Wilcox on the mound. All right, we're ready to go here. Gerber back to the plate. And ball 1 high. Eric tries to pick off Beimel. She's going to be safe. And Gerber goes down and gets that one. It's driven to right center. And McCurvey's there. Tries to get it back in a double off Beimel, but she gets back. So 1 down. Tedis up for the Ramettes. Tedis is 1 for 4. And takes low for ball 1. Foul ball. 1-1 count. Ball 2. Weimel thinks about going, but she gets back. Oh, and she swings on another ball. However, Weimel's able to advance on the wild pitch. And we have a 2-2 count here with a runner now on second and 1 out. And that one, nice play by Glasgow at short, but she's unable to get a throw off. And we now have runners at the corners on the infield single by Tedis. Adeo up. Adeo has walked twice and is 1 for 2 in her other 2 at-bats. And takes ball 1 on the first pitch. Tedis is going to advance on that. Adeo digs in and takes a strike on the inside corner. Strike 2. Adeo doesn't like those inside pitches. Wilcox is going to continue to pound the inside. And Adeo stays alive, fouling that one off. Gators tried to go outside on her there, cross her up, but she jumped on it. Still a 1-2 count with 1 out. And ball's low. And Eric's throw goes into left field. Weimel's able to score. Tedis takes a look, but she hangs. Two count here with 1 out. Runner now on third. Adeo at the plate. That pitch is high. Full count. And Adele goes down to get that one. That's going to be strike 3. It's dropped. Tedis tries to score at home, and she's doubled off. Another double play to end the inning for the Lady Gators. Nice defensive play. And we're going to head to the bottom of the 6th with a score now 14-6 in favor of Johnsonburg. We'll be back in 60 seconds. All right. And we're back for the bottom of the sixth. Peyton Gordon will be leading off for the Lady Gators. Dunworth remains on the mound for the Ramettes. She's at 95 pitches heading into the bottom of the sixth. And Gordon fouls the first pitch straight back off the porta potty. And strike one. Ball one, outside. Starting to get a little dark out here. Good thing we started at 4 o'clock. Gordon grounds that one back to Dunworth. She picks it up and throws it in the dirt, but Tedis is able to pull it out and get the first out. Next up is Bria Wilcox. Bria's 1 for 2 and takes the first pitch on a ball outside. Ball too low. Ball 3 to Wilcox. 3-0 with one out here in the bottom of the sixth. And strike one right down the middle. Wilcox now digs in with a 3-1 count. And that one's going to be foul. So full count on Wilcox. And Wilcox grounds that one to third. That's off the third baseman's glove, and she's going to be safe. So runner on first. And I guess we're going to have another courtesy runner. Yep, Darush is out of the dugout and on to first. Lathrop takes the first pitch high for ball one. Lathrop is 0 for 2 today with a walk. Ball 2 is high. Darush takes off for second, and she's going to ease in there without a throw. Yeah, that's a foul ball. 2-1 count. Lathrop's a little early on that one. Falls it down the right field line. 2-2 count now. And strike 3 swinging. So 2 outs now for the Lady Gators, and Maddie Eric up to bat. Maddie is 0 for 3, but she's been on base all 3 times. A couple of errors and a fielder's choice. She squares around a bunt, but the pitch is high for ball 1. And Eric drives that one to center field. That gets over the center fielder's heads. It's back to the fence. Eric is going to cruise into second for a double as Darush scores. That makes the score 14-7. And Glasgow's up to bat. She is 1 for 3 today, with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. First pitch is low, ball 1. And Glasgow lines that one to center. That'll be a single. They're going to send Eric. Catcher gets the ball, but the throw is late. And Glasgow's going to take second on the throw. So a little rally here by the Lady Gators. And we've got McCurvey up to bat with 2 outs. McCurvey's 1 for 3. That's a foul ball. Ball 1. Gianna trying to get a throw to second, but the Rams aren't biting. And that's grounded hard to third. McCurvey's going to be safe on the air. And Gianna gets to third on the throw. And Evans up to bat. Ball 1. McCurvey takes second. Now runners on second and third for Evans. 2 outs. And ball 2 high. Evans takes strike 1. 2-1 count here with 2 outs. Ball 3 inside. 3-1 count. Strike called at the knees. Full count, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. Evans and Dunworth both step in. Here's the pitch, and Evans fouls that off to stay alive. Evans lines that one to right center. That's going to get to the fence. Glasgow scores. McCurvey scores. And Evans is going to stand up at second with a double. Gators close the score to 14-10 now. Emily Eric up to bat. 2 outs still here in the bottom of the 6th. Eric tries to bunt on the first pitch and misses it. Strike 1. Ball 1 high. Ball 2 outside. 2-1 count. 2 outs. Eric with a swing and miss. Makes it a 2-2 count with 2 outs. And strike 3. But the Lady Gators do score 4 that inning. And we now have a 14-10 ball game as we head to the 7th inning. We'll be back in 60 seconds for the last inning tonight. Hmm? 14-10. What's that? Okay. And we're back for the top of the 7th. The Ramettes leading 14-10. And Grunther will lead it off for the Lady Rams. She is 2 for 2 with a walk and a hit by pitch. So she's been on base all 4 times tonight. And she took the first pitch low. Ball 2 low. Wilcox's pitch is low for ball 3. And green light with a swing and a miss for Grunther. 3-1 count. And a swing and a miss for strike 2. Full count now. And the payoff pitch. Grunther lines that up the middle for a single. And she'll have a 5th appearance on the bases today for the Ramettes. Lowry now up to bat for the first time tonight. She's been playing third base but was being hit for. But she's in the bat for the first time. And she's going to swing and miss. Eric tries to get it to first, but Grunther gets back. Ball 1. And Lowry gets that one up in the air to right field. That's going to drop. McCurby gets to it, gets it in to Wilcox. But that's going to be a single for Lowry. And runners at first and second with Jackson coming on the bat. Jackson is 0 for 2, but she's walked her last 2 times at bat. And ball 1. And the umpires are going to converge and say that hit her foot. So she's going to take first. And now the bases are loaded with no outs. And Mathis up to bat. Mathis is 1 to 2. She does have a double to center field. And she's walked a couple of times. And swing and miss on the first pitch. And that one's grounded to short. Glasgow's going to come home. Too slow. And the run's going to count. We'll call that a fielder's choice. And it's going to be another run for the Ramettes, making the score 15 to 10. And back to the top of the order with Dunworth. She reaches out and pops that one up. Evans is unable to get there. So that'll be a foul ball and strike 1. Dunworth is 3 for 4 today with a walk. And as mentioned earlier, she needs a triple for the cycle. And she lines that one right back up the middle. Eric comes up throwing. They've got runner trapped off second. They're going to double up Mathis. So that'll be the first out. But the Ramettes did score another run. Makes it 16 to 10. And Beimel now up to bat. That's ball one as Dunworth takes off for second. Beimel's walked 3 times and struck out twice. And she lines that one to short. That's off Glasgow's glove. Ricochets into the left. Runner's coming home. Lathrop tries to get it to home, and Beimel's going to take second on the throw. 2 more runs for the Ramettes. In front of it, Deanna. And Gerber is up for the Ramettes as they lead 18-10 here in the top of the 7th. And first pitch is a ball to Gerber. Gerber is 1 for 3 with 2 walks. Ball 2 catches the umpire. And Beimel does take third on the play. We got a 2-0 count here for Gerber with 1 out in the top of the 7th. Ball 3 outside. Ball 4. And that'll put runners at the corners. Again with 1 out. And Tedis back up to the plate. Tedis is 2 for 5. And takes ball 1 as Gerber takes second on the wild pitch. And Tedis tries to reach for that one, but it's outside, but she'll get a strike called. 1-1 count. Ball 2 low. The runners are going to hold as that gets back to the backstop. And Tedis goes down and gets that one. Lines one to right field. 2 more runs are going to score. And that makes the score 20-10 with 1 out here in the top of the 7th. And Adeo back to the plate. She is 1 for 3 with a couple of walks. And that's ball 1. With Pettis not looking to go anywhere. Ball 2, knocked down by Eric. Ball 3. This time, Tedis is going to take off, and she's going to be safe at second. That was Wilcox's 200th pitch of the day. And ball 4. So Adeo is going to take first. And Grunthaner back up with runners on first and second and 1 out. And ball 1. And that one's fly ball to right field. McCurvey camps under it, gets the ball in. And that'll be 2 outs. Tedis does tag up and advance to third. And Lowry back up. The Ramets have batted around this inning. Runners on first and second. And the first pitch is a ball. And Adeo is going to take second on the wild pitch. That one's popped up as well. Foul. That'll be strike 2. I'm sorry, 1-1. 1-1 count with 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. Once again, the Ramets have now extended the lead back to 10, 20-10, with 6 runs this inning. And that pitch is low for ball 2. Ball outside. It'll be a 3-1 count. And strike 2 called. Lowry couldn't pull the trigger on that one. And that's a full count with 2 outs here. Top of 7. And ball 4. That'll load the bases. And Jackson will be back up to bat. Called strike on first pitch. Lady Gators looking to get out of the inning. Bases loaded with 2 outs. Second pitch is low for ball 1. Eric's able to knock it down, keep the runners from advancing. That's grounded to third. Evans fields it, steps on third for the 3rd out. And that'll get the Gators out of the inning. However, the Ramets did score 6 runs. take a 20-10 lead. And the Gators will be back with Alyssa Tanner leading off. So Tanner, Gordon, Wilcox in the bottom of the 7th. We'll be back in 60 seconds. No. 20-10. And we're ready to go for the bottom of the 7th. Alyssa Tanner leading off for the Lady Gators. Tanner is 0 for 3 tonight, but she's looking to get it started here. And takes first pitch down low for ball 1. Tanner fouled that pitch back right into the concession stand. And that'll make it a 1-1 count. Swing and a miss for strike 2. And ball 2 high. 2-2 count. And Tanner gets a hold of that one. It's just in front of the catcher, who makes a nice play and throws her out at first. So good play there by Grunmather. And 1 out for the Lady Gators with Peyton Gordon up to bat. Gordon is 0 for 3 tonight. Also looking to get her first hit. And first pitch is high, ball 1. Strike 1 called. 1-1 count. Ball 2 outside. Gordon fouls that one off. 2-2 count. And swing and miss for out number 2. And Bria Wilcox will be up with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. Looking to get a little 2-out rally going here. Wilcox is 1 for 3, but she did reach by an error as well. And Wilcox drives that one to center. That is that's a home run for Wilcox. Straight away center field. She clears the fence. What a shot by Wilcox. So 20-11 now, and Lathrop up to bat as the Gators turn the lineup over here in the bottom of the 7th. And Lathrop jumps on the first pitch, lines it to second, and Beimel is able to get it to Tedis for the 3rd out. And that'll be the ball game, folks. Lady Gators fall 20-11 to the visiting Rams. Lady Gators will be on the road next week, and they'll be at Oswego Valley on Monday at 4:30. Thank you and good night.